Hello, 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 my darlings. Thank you for joining me on A Slice of Life, A Slice of Life. I normally don't do doom and gloom, but just want to talk to you tonight about water supply. And the only reason why I want to talk to you about water supply, because I heard a doom and gloom that just kind of, I don't know, just for some reason, it may be something to it. I'm not sure. I was in the bed the other night and I said, the bed is shaking. And I said, I know we don't have an earthquake going on here in Georgia. And my son-in-law looked up for me, and by the time I told him about it, it was some days ago. He looked it up, and at the time that he found out about it, yeah, it was an earthquake, and I did feel it. And I'm feeling more earthquakes, and I just have there's some kind of feeling going on with me. So, I don't know who am I, but I've been there's this whole thing about earthquakes going on. So they're talking about earthquakes, violent ones happening. They're always talking about California and Cali. So how do you call your friends and say, "Hey, girl, what's going on? I heard y'all gonna have an earthquake." I mean, you don't do that because you don't know, because they're used to it. They got it set up where the buildings roll, or they have the buildings set up in such a way that they move and they sway. And so when they did the architectural design, that was, but in a lot of places, our homes are not set up for moving and swaying. I don't want to move and sway. But in the meantime, in between time, someone said we're at the first bell of the watch. And so I'm just going to leave that out there. First bell of the watch. I'm going to leave that out there. And then as they talked about the earthquake, they talked about Chicago. I got family up in the Chicago area, and they talked about the heat. And so it was hot. I remember one summer was it extremely hot. There's some heat, this whole heat, hot sun thing. It's happening. I think we were over in Alabama. A family member was in Alabama, and they talked about how hot it was over there as opposed to over here, and that the heat is different now, because people just didn't believe that we were having global warming, and because we didn't believe it, we just kept things status quo. And I think it's going to come back and bite us. People sometimes don't believe it until it's too late. And that's the sad thing about it. It may be too late, but the heat, the warming system, everything is ecologically out of control right now. We are hot right now in Atlanta, Georgia, but it's going to be cold next week. This cold, that winter storm you had up north, in the north was just tons of snow, and just unbelievable amounts in terms of inches of snow falling in a consistent basis. And people are just acting like it's not happening, or what can you do about it? Well, you can have some kind of preparedness or be conscious of it, or think about what you might do in case of trouble. And so tonight I just want to give a short something about preparedness. Oh, they talked about Chicago. So the cities that they talked about was Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, and Houston, and Miami. So 7 cities on the first bell of the watch. So that's all I'm going to say. Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and in this order, New York, in the order, New York, and then Houston, Chicago, and then Miami. It's interesting that it's 7 cities. And we know these numbers mean something in the Bible. And so you can take this for whatever it's worth. I don't know, but I wanted to talk about the whole water supply, because I don't know how to go buy enough bottled water to supply of my family forever. I know how to turn on the faucet, but how do you buy enough water? And then they talk about the plastic itself. We're eating more plastic. I just saw on Shark Tank that we are eating more plastic. than we've ever eaten before. It's because the person said that the original plastic bottles are still on the earth. They haven't gone anywhere. They haven't disintegrated. We like the convenience of getting a bottle. I mean, I am an essential fan. It's in a plastic bottle. What am I doing with that plastic? I take it, I toss it in the recycle something. But they still, we still having it in our food. I understand that it is now in our food. People having more problems with cancer and more problems, gastrology problems, and the colon cancer and all kind of things. The heart doesn't like what we're putting in our body. The heart has to pump that mess through, and so I don't have an answer because I'm not an MD, you see. So in the meantime, in between time, let's talk about this whole water supply thing. So it says store emergency water, but how do you do that? I can go right now and go out to Costco, get all their water, and go to all different places and get all their water. It won't be enough water. From now, if the water dries up and there's no way for us to get water, how do you ration that water that we have gotten? And the person who was talking about this said that the billionaires will be fighting with the homeless people over a bottle of water because your $1 billion is not going to get you the water. My understanding that a number of people have purchased land with water on it, and so but what's coming out the air, you got to have a filtration system. Your electricity has to be. I mean, you can buy you can buy enough parameters to put around you and your family to maybe keep you off the grid maybe 6 months, maybe 6 months. I don't know. But the average person, so you living in your house, and the person who doesn't have the water will break in your house. Now we got to get guns and get prepared, for safety reasons. We're asking people, and I've asked people, and I've talked to my family and people on the street to start a garden, to have somewhere that you can eat, get some food, grow that food, because that may be the only food. How you gonna get somewhere if you can't get anywhere? If there's no gas, and someone said to us, we're gonna be like a third world country. And when he said that, I didn't know he meant like that. But now that I've heard the combination of that person's prophecy and the other person's prophecy, now I see what he means by a third world country. And that the water, this water supply and the conveniences. So you're talking about how much money you have, or what is money gonna buy? And then if you can't get it, so you got 200 million, 100 million, 80 million. It's all tied up in the bank. What is the paper money going to buy? If it's nothing to buy, who controls the water supply? And then it's only the rich that will survive, and then only so many African Americans. But it won't even matter. It won't even matter who was going to survive. Just who's going to survive all this? I don't know. So it says that you need a gallon of water per person per day. So if it's 4 people, that's 4 gallons of water a day. How do you do that? I don't know how to do that. Somebody will have to come and help me figure that out. And you can do that, but that's a minimum of 3 days supply. 3 days. We're talking earthquakes. We're talking heat. We're talking a disruption of conveniences, electricity. How do you manage that? What does it matter? It won't matter what kind of house you live in, how much money you have, how many degrees you have. It's the survival. And who can survive? It's all about survival. And you have to know alternative water sources. What are the alternative water sources? Now, those people who live by water, live near water, unless the heat or the sun dries it up, you have an opportunity to filtrate and get the water. But then it'll be somebody down there to stop you from getting the water. You see, you got to have water on your land. You need a well on your land. And there are people who've been preparing for that, who moved out west because they're saying the best place to move is out west somewhere. All those places that don't have anybody look like me, that's where the places are that's supposed to be the survival places. But I know that in the South we can do the same thing collectively. There's land and there's water a lot of places. Wherever the water is, that's where you need to be. If you're in a place where there's no water and you're not close to water, you can't get to the water, then that's going to be a problem down the road, I think. So this is no alternative water sources. One is bottled water, melted ice, canned food, liquid. So you need something. So if you open a can of, you got to have a regular can open. Keep in mind, electricity is not in this equation. There's no electricity as we talk about this. So you have a can opener, and those vegetables that are in the can that's water in there. So you gotta figure out all of this and have all of this available because you need that water. And the water so if you got a water heater, if you're in your house, there's water in the water heater, and you may be safe. I don't know, but there's water there. Avoid untreated water from unknown sources. So you got to have some kind of treatment system already in place, some basic water purification knowledge. I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me at the same time. And you can say, Jordan told us, because all this will go away. And so it's called preparation. And we're talking like in a short period of time here. It's supposedly, I don't know. But the person who's been talking to us or talking about preparedness has been saying that we're going to be a third world country. And what will make us a third world country is not having access to electricity, and money won't matter because what can you buy? Everything you can get out the grocery store that could be in a can or be in a bottle is what needs to be in your house right now. Everything. So it's saying, so boil water for 1 minute. Well, I don't know what you're boiling on, but you better have some kind of, I know you are barbecuing in the back, but that now becomes your stove. That backyard barbecue set, that's maybe your stove for right now. And I don't get this part. It said use unscented household bleach, 8 drops per gallon if needed. So you take the water, whatever that water is you've gotten from somewhere, you put 8 drops of unscented household bleach. Then you use water filters when available. It's the preparedness that I'm want to talk with you about, and you just can't just keep going down the road without looking to the left and the right. You just driving, never look at the rear view mirror, you're just looking straight only. You need to look to the side, look to the left, look to the right, look to the back, and connect with what's really going on. I don't want to be the one to bring, I'm not want to bring the one to bring this kind of news, but I don't know, my spirit is just not settled. And so I'm saying preparedness. So my preparedness message is awareness. Just be aware. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to the weather. Pay attention to the signs. There are signs that are sent to you. When you and God doesn't he doesn't surprise. There ain't no surprises. No Christian ought to be surprised by anything that's going on. Because signs and wonders come to you. There are signs and wonders going on right now. And so awareness, and make small preparation steps. Do you have a really good Red Cross bag, for medical bag, emergency bag? Do you have that? Just small things. Do you have Band-Aids in your house? I hear people say, I can't find a Band-Aid. What house you in? When you were growing up, you had a Band-Aid. You didn't have anything else. Your mama said, go look in the drawer and get a Band-Aid. That was just the way of the world. I don't know. I just want to make sure that, and then I left, I didn't mean to leave off, but You know, I believe in prayer. And prayer changes things. It stops a lot. Stops a lot of bad weather coming to Atlanta because we got a lot of praying people. A lot of praying people. A lot of praying people. You know, and I just think maybe you might take a second look at this preparedness. And I want you to take a look at the weather, to pay attention to what's going on around you, to make sure that you have this. I'm the last one to talk about gas. You know, you can complain all day. The gas could be $10. If you need gas, what you gonna do? Not get it? No, just stop talking about it. Go get the gas. I don't have enough gas in my car, so and I need my tires need to be. I need to ask my son-in-law to help me get my tires together. You know, because you don't know when you gotta go, how many gotta go. You might have to live in your car. You don't know. You know, so you need to have gas. You need to have the tires need to be able to go on any kind of road. We do not know. And I'm not saying not to enjoy your life, enjoy, have fun, keep doing life, because life is life. But in the meantime, in between time, pay attention to the small things that's going on around you, because the answer is right in front of you. You just need to read it. And here's one answer that I love you. That's true. And you can't do anything about it.